My name is Waffles, and I'm a government whistleblower turned political commentator, and here are the top international news highlights for the past 24 hours. Russia-Ukraine war. Today is November 30th, 2025. It is 1:41 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Russia-Ukraine war peace talks and renewed attacks. Diplomatic push. A senior Ukrainian delegation headed by National Security Chief Rustem Umerov has traveled to the United States for talks with U.S. officials, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and Presidential Advisor Jared Kushner. The goal is to swiftly and substantively work out the steps needed to end the war with the peace plan that essentially gives Putin everything and tells Ukraine to fuck off and allows Russia to engage in expansionism. Renewed Russian strikes. Despite the diplomatic efforts, Russia launched a significant drone and missile attack overnight on the Kiev region. Early reports indicate at least one person was killed, 19 injured. In the town of Vyshrod, causing power outages and widespread damage. Naval strikes. Ukrainian naval drones reportedly struck and disabled 2 Russian Shadow Fleet oil tankers in the Black Sea. Zelensky to Paris. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is scheduled to meet with the French President Emmanuel Macron in Paris on Monday to discuss conditions for a just and durable peace, since the United States appears to be colluding with the Russians. Venezuela crisis, airspace escalation, colonialist threat. The Venezuelan government strongly condemned and rejected comments from U.S. officials stating that the airspace above and surrounding Venezuela should be considered closed in its entirety. This has people concerned that they're going to be militarily attacked. Venezuela's foreign ministry denounced the statement as an illegal and unjustified aggression and a colonialist threat. Reparation flights suspended. Venezuela announced that the U.S. has unilaterally suspended the regular weekly migrant deportation flights between the two nations. Israel, Gaza conflict and hostage crisis. High death toll. The Gaza Health Ministry reported that the Palestinian death toll since the start of the war has surpassed 70,000. Continued violence despite the existing ceasefire. Israeli strikes continued with 2 Palestinian children reportedly killed in an Israeli drone attack in southern Gaza. Hostage exchange update. The remains of 3 bodies Hamas supposedly gave to Israel overnight were found to be those of known hostages, leaving the bodies of 8 deceased hostages still in Gaza. South Asia flooding catastrophe. The death toll continues to rise from catastrophic flooding and landslides caused by heavy rains from Cyclone Ditwa and related cyclonic systems across Southeast Asia. Sri Lanka, the death toll has reached 159 with thousands displaced. India has sent substantial relief aid and deployed naval ships. Indonesia, the death toll from floods and landslides on Sumatra has risen to 303. Nigerian abduction release. Nigerian authorities announced the successful release of 12 young girls who were among a group recently kidnapped from a school in Kebbi State. Guinea-Bissau coup. Reports indicate that the military in Guinea-Bissau has taken total control amid political chaos following recent elections. Australian PM Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese made history by becoming the first Prime Minister. Mary's, my gosh. I've been running my mouth too long. Speaking too fast. Australian Prime Minister Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese made history by becoming the first Prime Minister to marry while in office in Australia's 124-year federal history. South African officials resign. Dudu Zile Zuma Sambudla, the daughter of former South African President Jacob Zuma, resigned as an MP amid accusations of helping to lure South African men to fight for the Russian military in Ukraine. So we can clearly see that Russia is, first of all, active in Africa, and second of all, recruiting people internationally to engage in his expansionist terrorist attacks. China launches nationwide fire safety crackdown after Hong Kong disaster following the deadly high-rise apartment fire in Hong Kong that killed at least 128 people. China's central government has announced a nationwide inspection and overhaul of fire safety standards in an all high-rise residential and commercial buildings. Hong Kong has also begun an official period of mourning for the victims, and authorities are reportedly investigating corruption and negligence in the building's renovation history. ICC focuses on former Philippine President Duterte's fitness to stand trial at the International Criminal Court. The ICC has shifted its focus to evaluating the medical and mental fitness of former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte to stand trial for crimes against humanity. This follows the appeals chamber's decision to uphold the denial of his interim release. An expert panel is scheduled to submit a report on his capacity to participate in the trial regarding his administration's deadly war on drugs. Sounds kind of like something that should also happen to Donald Trump. Sounds very relatable. Iran boycotts FIFA World Cup draw over U.S. visa dispute in a significant political move in the world of sports. Iran has confirmed it will boycott the official draw for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, which is being held in Washington, D.C. The decision is a direct protest against what Iran calls unjustifiable visa disputes with the United States regarding the travel of its officials to the host country. UN report accuses Israel of de facto state policy of torture. A new report from the United Nations Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, OHCHR, has condemned the actions of Israeli forces and settlers in the occupied territories, stating that there is convincing evidence that Israel employs a de facto state policy of organized torture against Palestinian detainees. The report also condemned the recent and apparent summary execution of 2 Palestinian men in the West Bank. Iraq protest shooting kills 2 in Iraq. 2 people were killed and 3 others wounded when Kurdish security forces opened fire during a protest outside the Lunaz oil refinery located near the northern city of Erbil. The demonstration was reportedly over working conditions and environmental concerns related to the facility. China's factory activity slumps to record low. The official Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index PMI for China fell to 49.2 in November. This figure marks the 8th consecutive month that China's factory activity has remained below the 50 mark, which separates growth from contraction, signifying the longest stretch of manufacturing slump on record for the country. This raises concerns about the health of the world's second largest economy. Tens of thousands rally across Europe for Gaza. Massive solidarity demonstrations were reported across major cities in Europe, including London, Berlin, and Paris, demanding justice and a permanent ceasefire in the Israel-Gaza conflict. These rallies occurred as the Gaza Health Ministry updated the death toll from the war to surpass 70,000, maintaining pressure on European governments to shift their diplomatic approach. Pope Leo visits Blue Mosque in Turkey. Pope Leo visited the Blue Mosque in Istanbul, Turkey, as part of a high-profile tour focused on interfaith dialogue and unifying Christians. While his visit was framed by diplomatic discussions with Turkish officials, minority community figures described the visit as a moment of increased visibility and engagement with the state. Tunisia police arrest opposition figure amid crackdown. Police in Tunisia arrested prominent opposition figure Chaima Issa during a public protest. This action follows an appeals court recently handing down jail terms to several other opposition leaders, businessmen, and lawyers, intensifying international scrutiny over the country's accelerating crackdown on political dissent. Taiwan proposes a massive T-dome air defense system. Taiwan's government announced a proposal for an additional $40 billion in defense spending over several years, with the primary focus being the development of a multi-layered air defense system dubbed T-Dome. This massive investment is explicitly aimed at countering increasing military and air threats from China. This concludes today's international news report. We just had a holiday. Reporting seems a little bit slow. Other than that, that was a lot of stuff that came out of my mouth really fast. So, I'm gonna go now. Today is Sunday. We'll see you guys later.
So the Olympics is great. And Johnny, for the others, you know, the World Cup, Johnny is the head of it. We had our top people, Wasserman. They all came in on the Olympics, and then I saw Johnny. And we got the World Cup, too. And, you know, it's only because they rigged the election that I'll be your president representing you there. You know, I got both of them. I got the Olympics, and I got the World Cup. And I said, you know, it's too bad. One was in 2026, and the other was in 2028. And I said, I won't be there. I won't be your president. But then they rigged the election, and now we won, so I'm going to be your president for the Olympics and for the World Cup. So, Johnny, thank you for the World Cup, and everybody, thank you for the Olympics. We're going to have a great time.
Hey guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment to my videos. And also, don't forget to check out my shop where you could get this awesome Real Patriots Punch Nazis t-shirt. America, fuck yeah! And if you go to the link tree in my bio on most platforms, it's got links to everything, all of my stuff. You can find my shop there. I'm on eBay. You can also get this cool Exterminate MAGA sticker, because MAGA's fucking cockroaches. And fuck MAGA. Abolish MAGA. Fuck you, MAGA.